I've been waiting to get cold called in my crim law class. I was beginning to think that my professor had just straight up forgotten that I existed, because literally there are multiple people, like a solid percentage of the class, that have been called on twice now, and I had not been cold called once. And I finally got cold called today. He only called on me after 4 other people weren't there, and like, I really, he might have just straight up forgotten I existed, which I wouldn't have complained about. Getting out of cold calls is always, I feel like, a better outcome. So, but I did it. I think I successfully, you know, did a good job of it. This professor in particular likes to throw a lot of like wild, out there questions that are just not necessarily related to the reading. So like, you either just know it or you don't, or it's just a completely random factoid that he like wants to get at, but you have no way of knowing. So that's always a little bit, there's always an element of chaos, I feel like, in that class because of that. So I didn't get any too chaotic questions. I did get like, what do you know about this Supreme Court justice? Which I had to be like, absolutely nothing. But I understood the like criminal law concepts, which I think, you know, that's what matters. So I will take doing well on that part of the cold call. Also, yes, my hair is very different. I got it done on Saturday and I got highlights throughout, so it is like a much lighter brown, and my bangs got trimmed. Even though I'm trying to grow them out, my stylist was like, I can't just leave them doing nothing. So right now I have them, and then they kind of just tuck nicely over to the side on this, because I went back to my side part. I've been middle parting since I got bangs. And it's not really my favorite vibe. I guess that makes me a millennial, whatever is happening with side part, middle part discourse. So I'm back on the side part, and I think I like it this way. And so it works well with like just pushing these bangs to the side. I'm going to head back home. I'm going to do my criminal law reading, and then I actually don't have anything at noon today, which is nice. I think it's like the one day this week that I don't have something at noon. So got lucky there, but more class and reading. Mondays are always just so exceptionally boring. Like, they never really contain all that much excitement, because I have to, like, you know, get ready for class on Tuesday, so there's no chance for me to like throw in anything interesting or new and different. It is always literally just class and getting all my readings done for tomorrow, because I don't like reading ahead to the point that I'm reading Tuesday's cases on the weekend. I think it'll make me forget what I had to read for Monday. So I wait and I do it Monday, which means I just have a lot of reading to do in a day. So that's where we're at, but I'm gonna go home and get started on that with the help of my beautiful coffee that is very layered and very much requires me to stir it before I can drink it. As usual, I still don't have a straw in my car. I got official confirmation that I actually did do well on my cold call. My professor emailed me and was like, great job, which I've never had done before, like on a cold call. So that's cool, I guess. I'm just like in the middle of my criminal law reading, and I got an email ding, and I checked it because I immediately check any school emails that come in, and 90% of the time they're like spam-ish email, but I checked them immediately. So that was great. I loved that little, we talked about this last week. I live for external validation in law school. You kind of have to when you get very little of it. So I just got my newest Fashion Pass order, which is always my favorite thing, just because like you've gotten new clothes without really having to invest in a you know, super significant way. So I just pay like, you know, the flat monthly fee and you get new clothes all the time. So I have this one, which I'm going to have to wear very quickly because it's a sweater, and we're running out of times in which it's appropriate to wear a sweater. But it's just a cute little, like, you know, it's got the little stripy sleeves. I honestly might wear this to class tomorrow. Or maybe later in the week, because I think later in the week is supposed to be a little bit chillier. I think tomorrow's gonna be like a high of 80, so like maybe not the thick sweater, but I saw this and I thought it was super cute, and I wanted to snag like one last opportunity to wear it before it got way too warm for that. So that's in there. And then the other item is just a little t-shirt. So I went with like super casual things because I keep ending up with like I keep ordering like slightly fancier things, forgetting that like I don't go anywhere. I like don't go out, I go to class and that's it. So I tried to make an effort to like get casual things this time. So I got this shirt, which is like the little Rolling Stones, but it's got the leopard tongue. It's from, I think it's Daydreamer is the brand. I don't know why I thought it was, but anyways. But I'm kind of excited. This is just gonna be like super cute with like jeans. Just a nice, once again, a nice little casual outfit. And then I got jewelry because why not? It's always like a fun little thing to like throw on like a new necklace or new earrings for the month. So I got this little gold one because I only ever wear gold jewelry. It's little stars, and it's never gonna focus. Come on. You got the lighting right, but not the, anyways, you know what stars look like. So I also finally got around to like listing my entire closet, things that I don't wear anymore on Poshmark this weekend, which like they've literally been sitting in my closet since I cleaned out my closet at like the very first vlog of this semester. So it's been a little bit too long, but I finally did that. So as much as I have new stuff going in, I also have old stuff going out. So I've got like a Poshmark order that I'm gonna go ship today after I get out of class. I actually do have something interesting going on today, and it's I have an interview for a teaching position to like teach undergrads for like one course next semester. So it seems like it'd be fun. So that's another thing I've applied for. So I will meet with the law professors that kind of like run it today for a little 15-minute interview. So hopefully that goes well. I have no idea how many people applied, like how competitive it is. So I guess that's something that we will find out. I'm on like a trend today. I got cold called in that class too. So that was fun. I was also the first double cold call. Like I'm the first person all semester that has now been called on twice. So my professor both pointed that out and goes, congratulations. And so anyways, somehow I got the short end of the stick there, but it was fine. It was another, you know, cold calls are always a little bit, sometimes there are questions that you're just like, I don't quite know how to answer this. But I think I've talked about this before, but they feel like a big deal when you first start law school. Like I obsessed over cold calls and like obsessed over little things that I got wrong fairly easily first semester, and now care substantially less. Like I knew the entire time that they didn't count for anything, but I think just like drilling that reminder into your head is helpful. That's not a do bad on cold calls. Like I still want to seem like I know what I'm talking about and seem relatively smart and make, you know, we love a good email congratulating you on a cold call from a professor, but they're definitely not as high stakes or as big of a deal as your brain can sometimes make them out to be. Or maybe just my brain. I don't know. I feel like this is a more universal thing, but I'm also very dramatic, so maybe not. Please cue internal screaming. I have the interview for this teaching position in a minute, and I just got a phone call and it went straight to voicemail because I didn't recognize the number, and I've been getting spam calls all day. I'm speaking so fast, I'm so sorry. I just got a call from someone I interviewed with like ages ago, and he left a voicemail telling me to call him back. So now I just have to sit on that for the next 15 minutes while I do this teaching position interview. So that's stressful. Anyways, gotta log on to this Zoom, then gotta call this dude back, and I will be back with an update. Okay, I'm back. That was a very chaotic intermission. The little interview went nice. You can teach this course both 2L and 3L year. Like you don't have to just teach it your second year. So one of the professors is literally like, would you be open to waiting till your 3L year and just like coast and like wait until then? To which the answer is yes. Like, I very much applied for this because I saw it and immediately got excited about it, but I do think that there would be a value in me waiting, so potentially might just wait and do it 3L year. But either way, like, it's a cool opportunity no matter at what point in my law school career I get to do it. I finally called that guy back. Basically, there's just a lot of weird hurdles to jump through as far as remote work, so he's trying to sort out all of that before I can get a definitive offer. But the fact that we're having to work through a lot of like administrative details, on the whole positive, good sign for me. I said Monday was gonna be boring, and today did not turn out boring at all. But I do have to do all my reading now, so the rest of the evening will hopefully be a little less exciting. Yeah. I'm just on a roll for cold calls this week. I just got called on in civil procedure, which I think partially it was my own fault. I like raised my hand for some like very tiny unrelated question at the beginning of class. And so I think my little Zoom face was like at the top of the screen, so then, you know, the professor has to pick someone to call on. And I was right there, so I just kept going. So that's kind of, I guess, how that worked out. I might have done that to myself, I don't know. Or I just might have been next up on her list of people to call on. I'll never know. I have briefly changed into business attire because I am tuning into a networking event tonight, which is fun, and also is with a big law firm, which is not anything near what I, you know, first of all, have been interviewing for this summer, or also anything that I would have expected. But I'm also kind of thinking that I might want to test the waters of big law for a summer, and what better summer to do that than my 2L year. So I am, you know, starting to tune into what big law stuff is like. So there's like a cool networking event that a firm is putting on that's basically just like a bunch of women attorneys, and so I'm excited to, you know, hear from them. So it's a little departure from what I'm currently, you know, pursuing in my short term, but I also don't want to, you know, completely say that I would never ever do any sort of big law after I graduate. I could see myself in a role like in a firm like that, just in a specific type of setting, which just I just have, because, you know, all of my public interest-y based stuff, like I kind of have like specific missions, and so if I feel like I can satisfy that working in a big law position and use that kind of as a like starting point for my career, I'm not mad about that. So we're vaguely considering big law, and that's going to be the next hour of my life before I go into some brief editing. I met with my TA for my legal practice class, and she gave me a few little areas to work on and to focus my editing efforts tonight. So I'm going to do that because I meet with my professor first thing tomorrow morning. So we're gonna also dig in there, and I am gonna hopefully have him rectify a lot of questions that I have, because parts of this brief I'm like, yes, I have this down, like we have done enough of these, I know what I'm doing. And then other parts, because we're writing an appellate brief, it's different than the trial brief or any of the objective writing that we did last semester that were all memos. And so I have some questions that I need resolved, and the TA didn't quite know the answer to, because we were both a little confused about, I always end up with like weirdly specific questions. And so like it gets to the point where it's like the professor's gonna be the only person who can answer this. So I will get to pester him with those questions that I'm like building a list of at the moment, and that'll be my morning. But for now, I'm gonna go hop on this Zoom call. I have so many questions, and why the top of the fridge is all of them? Why are both of them just like, yep, this is the prime real estate of the apartment? I've been through like 5 outfit changes so far today, but anyways, made it through all of the all of the events of the evening. I spent a lot of time editing my brief, so it's definitely in a much better place, and I literally have like a bulleted list of questions so that I can go into my conference with my professor tomorrow and like very quickly like focus on the things that I care the most about and the things that I like most need resolved by him. So feeling good about all of that, and it's been a productive evening. There's now a cat on the floor, so we've moved from the top of the fridge to the very bottom, and I am getting ready to go to bed because I have that conference with my professor first thing tomorrow morning. I also have 2 interviews tomorrow spaced out over the day, and then also throughout the day we'll need to get my reading done for all of my classes on Thursday. So it's a jam-packed day tomorrow because they always are, and we're gonna get ready for bed so that I can conquer it. It's a good day when you wake up and Taylor Swift has randomly dropped a single. It's gotten to the point that like anytime Taylor Swift does anything, I get tagged on one of my Discord channels, and someone's like, "Are you okay? Are you breathing?" I have created a reputation for myself, and I think I'm comfortable with that. But it's Wednesday. Obviously, you just saw the little day title go by the bottom of the screen, and I started off this morning. I had the conference with my professor to go over my brief, which was so helpful because I just was struggling with some structural stuff. There's parts of it that I feel really solid about, that I like am really confident in, and so like I was like, we're not going to focus on those sections at all, and gave him the rest of it and was like, what do I do here? I know what I'm trying to do, like this is what I'm trying to accomplish. How do I make sure that I do this better? And so he gave me some like restructuring tips to improve it. So I have a good bit of work to do on it now, but I would much rather have a good bit of work to do on it and like feel like the final product is going to be really pretty solid, which is I think what I have established here. That's all very well and good. I also had an interview immediately after that, and they are planning on making a decision this week. So that's multiple places that have said that like they're like planning on making a decision this week. So there are 2 options. Either I have an internship at the end of the week, or I have a lot more rejections by the end of the week. Who knows which one it'll be? So now I am getting some reading done. I'm trying to get through my civil procedure reading before I have therapy at noon, and then I will try to squish in criminal law reading, and then I have another interview because today is just nuts. And then after that, I'm gonna squeeze in a quick workout, come home, do my constitutional law reading. What a day. Hello. Do we remember how on Monday I got a phone call from someone who had interviewed me and then like couldn't call them back for another like 15-20 minutes because I had something pop up? That happened again. It's now happened twice this week, and literally this time it was more self-imposed. I have discussed many a time how much I love Flora, how much it is a great app, and I use it to do all my focusing. So I was doing my criminal law reading with my Flora timer on, and I got a call and I didn't pick it up because I was like, I'm working, and then I like looked up the phone number and I realized that it was for someone who had interviewed me. And then I checked my focus timer and I still had 15 minutes to go, so I had to like read a court case all the while knowing I had this voicemail waiting from someone who had interviewed me. Anyways, I got my first job offer, so we're in a good place. This has been a good day. This has been a good week. We're happy, things are moving, a lot of different things are moving, and I'm literally going to email my career center and be like, hi, multiple offers. How deal? How help? So that's where we're at, because I mean, I am not going to jinx it, but then again, I already have a singular offer, so I'm okay with like maybe jinxing it a little bit. It seems like I have gotten indications that I will get multiple offers at this point. And so trying to balance them, trying to think about which one I'm going to take, and trying to think about communicating with all of them is something that I could definitely use a little bit of support from. And my career center is usually like incredibly helpful with this sort of stuff. So I'm gonna hit them up. But this is a huge weight off of my shoulders, and like very, like to have at least one thing locked down and now kind of make it more of a game of figuring out where everything else is, and figuring out then kind of weighing out between any other offers I do get, like weighing out which one I want to pick. This is a much better place to be in than having nothing. Big change between 0 and 1, and then anything else on that is cool, and we can start thinking about things and moving things around that way. But the relief is like so real. I have a lot of excitement clearly, but I have got to get this criminal law reading done, so I'm gonna go back to reading this case, and then I have another interview. So I'm still gonna interview, because, you know, I feel like that'd be bad to cancel on them a few hours before, and it's always a good thing to do. So like, I'm still gonna interview. It all works out in the end. It really, it all works out. It's a mess, but we have gotten to like the finish line, like the preliminary finish line, the first finish line, and the rest of this is downhill. It's all downhill from here. I ordered a like camera mount off of Amazon last night, so tomorrow I will have a I will have something to hold my camera, so that I'm not just completely hoping for the best as I drive. But for one more day, we get the slight rocking. I am on my way to class now, so it's 8 o'clock in the morning, bright and early, and I just want to say, like, I love my school's career center so much. Like, the people in it are so great. I emailed one of the gals that I've been talking to throughout this whole process yesterday to be like, hey, update, I got an offer, and then like, here's all these other things that are still in the works, and I just want your advice on like thinking through all of this, and you know, how to communicate with different people about different aspects of things. And she literally got my email and like called me immediately. Called me, and like we spent half an hour on the phone talking through everything and like weighing out like my options, and figuring out kind of what of the options that it's looking like I'm going to have is the best choice for me, as far as setting me up for success, and like, you know, looking at things like, I mean, obviously there's like, you know, the work you're doing itself, because a lot of these are slightly different positions that are either, you know, I have heard back from, or kind of have people checking references on, and so feel like, you know, that's usually a pretty solid indicator. And basically kind of weighing out, you know, pros and cons, and looking at like the work, and as well as like other considerations as far as, you know, what the position will look like this summer, kind of like, you know, the prestige factor, and then obviously there's also the fact that some of them are paid and some of them aren't, and so the paid factor does kind of weigh in favor of some. And the thing is that the ones that it does weigh in favor of are already ones that are pretty solid. So it's not like I'm like having to pick between like prestige and a paid position. I actually can probably get both. And what's exciting and good and makes me happy. The two places that I like, after this whole conversation, we kind of like have my top two, and I just need to kind of have some internal self-reflection and figure out which of those is my actual like top one. But the thing is, both of the two that we decided are my top are the two that have either A, extended me an offer, or were the one that called me and were like, we want to make you, more or less said like, we want to make you an offer, we just have to figure out some weird logistical things first. So yeah, that's overall very positive. So that was, she was wonderful. I'm like, it's so, like, having like people who are like super responsive like that is just, it's so great. We worked out like this entire course of action over the phone and like got everything, like she helped me think through so many things. And so like career center people are absolutely your friend. And so very grateful for my schools. And yeah, that's kind of the bulk of yesterday. And today is a full day of class. So that's how that is, obviously. So after this class, I'm gonna go to the gym, get a quick workout in, but then I need to get back home by noon because I do have another meeting. Basically all of the school's journals are going over, you know, what their board looks like and like talking about the whole process and what being on that journal is like. So I'm gonna go to that. I do think I have a pretty clear idea already of my preferences, even without without going to this, but I go to a lot more meetings, I think, than I probably have to, but I just, you know, I want to make informed decisions. So I feel like too many meetings is never a bad thing. Actually, no, there are situations I've been in many meetings that should have been an email. Those are bad meetings, but a lot of law school meetings aren't really like that. So it's different. I just don't want that phrase to be taken as a generally applicable statement because it is absolutely not. I'm also gonna spend some quality time this evening with my brief and doing all of the edits that my professor gave me yesterday. So there's a lot of work that has to be done, but I know where the work needs to be done. And I think knowing what you need to do is 75% of the battle. So like I think we're pretty good. So I will make some edits tonight. It's due on Sunday. I never submit anything due on Sunday. I always submit it on Saturday because my brain is weird and I get stressed out by the idea of turning something in less than 24 hours before the deadline. So it will get turned in on Saturday. So I will make edits today, and then I will also probably do some editing work both tomorrow and Saturday, and throw the thing in and never think about it again. A lot has happened. Obviously I didn't film yesterday or most of today. It is almost 6 o'clock, so oops. I went through last night and did a major overhaul on my brief, made a lot of the edits that my professor recommended. So it's now a little bit over the word limit, so I've got to figure out how to throw some things out tonight, and I've also just got a few ideas for things I would like to change, make more concise, tidy up my arguments a little bit. I also am going to print out, my professor very rigidly applies a checklist when he's grading, and it very much weighs in your favor to also adhere very rigidly to the checklist. So I'm going to print that out and go through and literally individually check off the boxes and make sure that I can find that in my own paper. I think in general, when I actually did that with more detail, I did better, which seems obvious. That's fairly apparent. So I'm literally about to jump into another round of edits. And that's the main thing I have for this evening. I'm also working on a different student involvement application that is another thing that I might want to do next year. So I'm just throwing a lot of applications out, which may may work out, may end up with a lot coming back, which would be cool. I don't know if I'm necessarily like applying to more things than I think I could commit myself to, so if I guess everything came back as a yes, that would not be like, oh yikes. But on the note of oh yikes, but in a good way, like in a very, very good way. The place that I talked to Monday that I had interviewed with a while ago, was excited about, responded today with an offer. So I now have 2 offers, and they are basically my top 2 places that I want to work this summer. Like when I walked through everything with the career center, when I literally just had like my half-hour long phone conversation with someone in the career center, we came to the conclusion that like these are the top 2, but I'm gonna have to make this decision. I have to make it in the next week as far as like which one of them I actually want to say yes to. And it's so hard because I would be excited to do both, and they're both very similar in a lot of ways, with the like one difference being like the actual like work, which makes them sound very different. But I just mean like a lot of the like, you know, logistical aspects are similar. They're both paid, like all of that stuff. And so really I have to pick between both of the like work projects I would be assigned, and they're both really, really cool. So like, that's where I'm at, but in a very, very good way. Like this is a very, very good position to be in, and a very big glow up from a couple weeks ago where I was like, is anyone even gonna hire me at all? Yes, your top 2 are trying to, and you gotta pick one. So we love a good glow up, and yeah, patience is a key thing in job searching. Also, like just persistence in general. They both pan out, and so that's all. Like just super incredibly exciting. And then I also met with someone different in the career center. This is the person in my school's career center who like specializes in judicial clerkships, and so she was giving me a bunch of advice for that whole search and application process, because even though that is something that happens after you graduate, it starts very, very early. And so like I'm starting to even like think about things now for 2024. Like that's 3 years from now. That's so long, but that's just how these hiring processes work. But that being said, the benefit of a solid career center like has really, really shined through this week. Like just the number of different resources I've been able to take advantage of, and like the way that people are so willing to help. The fact that I got a phone call, like I like emailed someone in the career center to be like, hey, here's an update about my life. Just wants a little bit of advice going forward, and she literally called me and was like, I just wanted to talk through all of this in person because I'm so excited for you. Like it's so great. Like having a solid like network of resources is so useful. And I like never took advantage of my career center in college, and I feel like I probably missed out because it's been fantastic and in law school so far. I'm doing well and we're happy, which I think alone is a feat in itself, because at this point in the semester it's a little bit of a drag. We are so close to the finish line, and I feel like burnout is like very, very easy at this point. So like the fact that I'm like over here just like hyped I'm okay with that. I'll take it. We're ending this vlog on the couch once again, although not at midnight. So progress from last week. Obviously I'm not like, you know, writing a draft this time, so didn't have to stay up quite so late. I made a bunch of edits and am currently skating just inside the word limit, so I'm gonna do some more last minute edits tomorrow and then submit it a solid 24 hours before it's due, because I will freak out if it's not turned in 24 hours before it's due. This is one of my fun little weird quirks that I just have accepted. Things have to get in early, and I could have worse character flaws than freaking out if things aren't submitted in advance. things could be worse. So I have gotten no closer on making a decision between these two job offers. So that's a problem for another day. Yeah, I think we're gonna go to bed. It's been a good long week, but I'm ready to call it a week. So the end of this vlog. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. I post new videos twice a week most of the time, but right now I'm kind of just on a once a week vibe. You're just getting these vlogs for now because, as this video might have evidenced, there's a lot going on right now. So we'll be back to 2 times a week when 2 times a week becomes feasible again. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.